Drake. It seems like now that we've talked about Iceman, now that the theory is out there, he's also acknowledging this more and giving us more and more hints, because he just said that this record is coming out this year. But we'll go into all of that today, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. You can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So we just discussed Drake's new record, Iceman, like 2 days ago. We talked about how he has been hinting at this name for quite some time, always referencing it on his Finsta account, Plot Twist. That was the account that he also kind of marketed the 100gigs.org thing over. He also wore a hoodie that said Iceman while being on stream with Aiden Ross, where he also announced a new record. Here is that clip if you haven't seen it yet.
I've been listening to it. Yeah, of course.
Every journey. Working on a new album right now. It's a
What?
slap.
Already? Solo album?
Yeah. And then shout out to everybody that's been showing us love though, for real, on every song. Shout out to everybody that's coming to Wireless, man. We love you so much. We really do. We work hard. On. Okay, go back to the gambling. Sorry, it's so important.
So we know that he's working on a new record. We know that it's supposed to be coming sometime soon. We talked about in the last video how important this release is because of the aftermath of the beef with Kendrick. Kendrick dropped a record, GNX, that did pretty well. Now, obviously, Drake also dropped a record with that Valentine's Day collab tape with P&D that was pretty cool, that was a success, but we're all looking at the solo record that he's dropping next. And so far, nothing really came of that. We only got the 100gigs.org, we got the Fighting Irish freestyle. None of that was really ever something incredible that fans went crazy over. Now it seems, though, that this Iceman thing could actually be a reality, because after we talked about all of these subtle hints here and there over the past couple of weeks, we now had a post from him on Instagram that completely turned this thing upside down, because on that post he actually had, now this was kind of scribbled on this table that they were at, but it said Iceman 2025 Snow Hour Ranch. I don't know what this means. And at the top, I guess says Sixer. That's kind of what he's saying about Toronto. So this is saying Iceman is coming in 2025. And Iceman, he knows that fans are calling this new record Iceman. He knows that we're talking about it in this terms of Iceman. Even if it's not going to be called that, at least that is the term that he's been using to reference that. Because as you might know, sometimes these artists throw out different words. We've had this with, for example, A$AP Rocky with Grim or with All Smiles. In the end now it's Don't Be Dumb. So sometimes albums go through different stages where they're called different things. Or Vultures was the BB Playbook, something like that. I don't remember. But it's sometimes that's the case. Sometimes that's how artists do it. And it could be that the actual title will be different. But for right now, Iceman is the code name that at least he's also working under, because why else would he reference it like that? Now, we also have new IG posts from him in general. It's not like he never stopped posting, but something about these new ones makes you think he's kind of hinting at it again. For example, this selfie right here, where he said, "I'm wide awake for the nights that separate the type who get to it till they get it right from the type who just type." Which is funny because he's typing that caption. He's typing a lot of captions. So you would think he's the type to type. But in this case, it kind of feels like he's hinting at, okay, he's working, he's doing all that. We got reports that he's really locked in. We got reports that he's using every second that he has to work on this record. We also most recently got a new leak that's called Best Friends with Rod Wave, actually. So here's a quick listen to that.
I was sore. Heavy handed drinks when you pour. I can't even walk straight anymore. 10 carats hitting off of one ring. Picking up your call off of one ring. I hit 20 million off a slot machine. Buy you and your sister fucking anything. I am not a saint though by any means. I could tell you some things, I can't tell you everything. They tryna meddle in our circle like a tambourine. He the girl, I really walk a fine line. Yeah, I know I'm smart, but I'm no Einstein. Gotta see the family more and find time. Been on top forever, baby, time flies. Bet you never met a dog with 9 lives. All I really care about is my side. You always got me looking on the bright side. But lately shit is getting dark on my side.
Now this was a throwaway, I believe, from an earlier era because it sounds like the 2020 to 2024 kind of Drake. I'm hoping that at least some of that will swap over into Iceman. You can't just turn a switch and be completely different on a record. You can do that, but it's usually very hard and usually not what brings you the most success as well. But at least have some sort of noticeable progression. For All the Dogs was great. It wasn't like that was a terrible record. Y'all know that I wasn't the biggest fan of Certified Lover Boy, so the past couple of releases really haven't been the best. I mean, to admit, the 21 Savage record, Her Loss, that was pretty good, and also the P&D, but so the collab tapes are really good, but when it comes to solo Drake records, I am one of those people, and maybe it's recency bias, or in this case, then not recency bias, but just glorifying older stuff. But I'm one of those guys that's like mixtapes and then Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. So those were like my favorite Drake albums. But obviously maybe people that got into his music a little later or that just enjoy different type of music, they like albums that just dropped a little bit later. Now, we also have rumors when working on this new record that it's going to be no features, that he's really locked in, that this is what he really wants to focus on, that he wants to get back to his pen, that he wants to get back to regaining some respect in some sense in the game after a lot of people thought that he lost a lot of respect after the last beef with Kendrick. So that could be one thing that he wants to focus on. That could be one aspect of this entire thing. Obviously, as of right now, we don't have any new news on this. But as we said in the last video, this is actually bigger than I think a lot of people realize right now. Because we're talking about, okay, Iceman 2025, all that, it's coming, new Drake record. But this could be a make or break record. A lot of people, as I said in the last video as well, a lot of people didn't even care about that P&D collab tape as much. It wasn't talked about as much. It wasn't this game-changing thing. It was kind of like, oh, it's a cool record, but it's not what we were all hyping up to. I feel like people are expecting yet another step when it comes to the solo record. And he really needs to deliver on that because as it looks right now, it could be kind of like maybe Kanye's situation where at some point, now obviously besides all the controversy, but at some point the new stuff you drop, people talk about to a certain point, but then it's really not that good. And over time, you just kind of start to fade. And Drake doesn't want that. We know that Drake is a very hungry artist that at least also when he's the underdog can really, get that drive in him, and I think that's when he works the best. We've seen this happen over his career entirely, so let's see where all this takes us, but I'm very excited for Iceman, at least that's what we're calling it right now. We have him posting this coming 2025. Half of the year is over, so let's see where the second half of the year leaves us with that. It's going to be very interesting. Let's see how all this develops. I'm very excited for it. Let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think it's coming this year? And do you think it's actually going to be Iceman? And do you think it's going to be no features or maybe leaks that you're expecting? Let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.